Today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on episode 13, I believe, and if you haven't seen already, I have done the province map of the world. This took me a while, but every single country, except for like some random ones out here at the minute, has got provinces. So now we're going to be able to do things a lot more in depth. Anyway, this episode is going to be very important lore-wise, so make sure you stay to watch. So we're actually starting with a daily career update today, even though we haven't done it in a while. But you see something quite nice happening over here for once. We see Japan sell their southern Korean land over to the orange country. That's because they don't need it. And what are they going to use this for? Well, they're going to use it to take over the rest of Korea. So they move in and they take out this brown country. Then they go into the grey team and they easily destroy them. And the green team, they're a bit more of a challenge, but eventually they are able to capture the capital and end this country as we know it. And in this peace treaty, we see that every country is fully annexed. However, we're finally going to see this country's dream come true, as the orange country will agree to a union between the two. And yeah, we have, I guess, a new dark red union. Now this is the Korean Union. Their capital will be in the capital of the orange team because it's the most developed city out of all of them. And yeah, quite a big country forming now. They are probably a top 15 or top 20 power, I don't know, they're helped by Japan. They'll also retain this status as a member of the 6-star alliance. And yeah, stuff's peaceful around here, but we do need to discuss alliances real, because some of them don't exist anymore. Like, I don't know why this Heart Alliance is still here. The Heart Alliance doesn't exist. Same with the squares, they were only really needed to take down India, and there's no use for them anymore, so they're just gonna get completely like taken out. This stupid country, like So 2 alliances have already been destroyed. But now, something quite bad's going to happen. We see some guy in this orange Indian country here. He's going to eat something really bad. And this will make a plague. Yeah, the world's getting infected right now. And this plague is going to spread fast. It'll start in this major city right here. And it'll instantly start spreading into the blue team, into the green team as well. And then it's just all over the place. And there are like quite a few shipping routes around this area. Like something like this that happens. And some areas in this blue country is going to get affected, and immediately they cut off the capital city from the rest of the country, and people who are not in the capital city are going to be like, yo, you're basically killing us. So then there's going to be a rebellion. We end up seeing this purple rebellion pop up, and it basically doesn't like this country. I don't know, it just doesn't like it. You even see them get jumped by their neighbours, so the brown team will send their troops into this country, taking the exclave and moving further. And the same thing will happen with Oman, as they kind of have a dream of being a big empire, though they probably won't be. But hey, a country can dream. And this blue country not going to get completely destroyed like they were before, like they did have some rebellions in the past. But they're not going to get completely destroyed. What's going to happen is they're going to get pushed back to where the capital city is, because I said this a few episodes ago, but this is the most defended city in the world. So they'll get pushed back to about here before, yeah, they literally can't break through this. This is very defended. So we end up seeing this country get divided like this, with Oman getting the southern territory down here. We see the brown team take all of this land, and the rest is going to go to this new purple team that was just created. So yeah, this country here, it's been pushed back to this point, and Persia's a bit hungry, so it could be getting destroyed soon. This country will have their capital over here, and yeah, the plague is going to start to spread up into these countries now. They're taking some of the plague populated areas, and it's pretty much in the entire world at this point. The Anatolians are going to be like, oh damn, well, I think I just try and do some, like, maybe a little bit of genocide, because they ain't great. And there's something I need to talk about now, and that is religion. I remade the religion map, and it's good. I mean, it's not great, but you know. And for a minute, we're going to be ignoring whatever's going on in the plague, because this is a lot more important. But the plague hasn't quite reached the Anatolians yet. It's kind of staying on here at the minute. We're kind of like jumping back in time a little bit. We see the Anatolians start to invade into Azerbaijan. Now this country hasn't really, it's had time to kind of establish itself as a decently strong country. But it's nowhere near the strongest country in the world, the Anatolians, which they are officially the strongest country in the world. I might do power rankings later in this episode. We see them get pushed back to this point, and then the Anatolians are going to make a landing in this tip over here, and they decide to just pack in the bag, and yeah. And in this peace treaty, weirdly, once again, they're fully annexed into the Anatolian Empire. And then we see something horrible happening. The Anatolian country is coming up with a different ideology. Now, this isn't fascism, because fascism isn't really a type of ideology yet. What I'm going to call it is religious nationalism. religious ultranationalism. That's what it is. Which basically means, yeah, genocide. So the Anatolians will start to move into the red team, and they're doing some horrible things over here. It's not just the red team either, it's also the purple religion. And the Italians basically say, hey, yeah, we hate you now, we ain't working you anymore, you just kill people of our own religion, good luck. And you're wondering, what is this brown religion down here? Well, this is the Sicilian religion, and it's people who kind of want to break away. So the Anatolians, to get back at the Italians, will start a rebellion down here, which the Italians will come in and they'll be like, okay, yeah, let's calm this stuff down, let's just take it out real quick. And it gets sorted quite quickly. But the Anatolians aren't stopping their massacre against the Albanian religion, as they now cross in, take over Constantinople, or re-liberate Constantinople, that's what they say. And then they basically, they decide to kill the rest of this purple religion in Turkey, and it's just completely dead now, the purple religion. They then work into Caspia, and they hate all religions except for their own, so yeah. However, they cross the line properly when they start killing the blue religion. As Egypt will see this, and they'll be like, yo, we're going in. We're going to end this horrible dictatorship that is religious ultranationalism. And we're going to put an end to the genocides happening in this Anatolian Empire. Also the strongest country in the world, and we're not even close to the strongest country in the world. But hey, it's David versus Goliath, we can do it. The Egyptians get destroyed. And they used to be the strongest country in the world, but not anymore. Now, you're playing with the kids now. That sounds terrible, but they're playing with the new top dogs in this world. And the capital is captured almost instantly. That's how strong the Anatolians are. The Egyptians are far past their prime, and yeah, they just don't stand a chance. The capital is captured. They then move into this city over here. Did I say the capital? No, that city is captured. And they basically just like send out all this. The Egyptians also forget that naval landings are things now, so yeah, they get naval landed from there. And this overall is a horrible, horrible defeat for the Egyptians. And now every single city in the country is getting obliterated. They make a naval landing down here, which they then manage to connect up with this. And this is what happens when you mess with the Anatolians. They all completely fold over to the empire. And in this peace treaty, they are fully annexed. And this will turn the little kind of, rivalry that these two had into hatred. They hate each other. Because Egypt is the second oldest country in the world. You don't want to just fully annex the second oldest country in the world. But the Anatolians do not care about PR. All they care about is making their country have the entire world. So we'll check in to see what they do in the next episode. But now the plague is starting to advance into the Anatolians, and that's why they stopped their expansion. Like, oh, we should probably stop now. The plague is advancing. I did add in more major cities because I think there would be a bit more. Tell me if there's too much, I'll erase some of them. But otherwise, there's just going to be this many for now, and if there's too many, I'll just erase them. Anyway, the plague is getting bad in the Star Alliance. Russia has managed to kind of calm it down a little bit. We're getting to sort of the mid stages of it now. Russia's managed to calm it down when it's at its worst, and they're kind of like keeping the towns that have the plague. It's quite horrible. They're keeping them in isolation, and they're building walls around these cities and stuff, saying, hey, you ain't leaving this city, you're gonna just die in this wall, and we're gonna live fine in the capital over here because we're just like, dictators. Even though Russia is more of a monarchy than a dictatorship, but hey, who really cares? But it's gonna get really bad over here, and eventually we see a new alliance created, and this is gonna be used to jump the Star Alliance. It's kind of like a Punic War thing going on over here. There's loads of wars happening with the Star Alliance and the Russians. I end up seeing the Russians push far into the yellow team, and that is because if we take a look at provinces, provinces, we can see that some Russian kind of capital population is spilling into the Polish country. So Russia's going to want to take all this back, and hopefully And where stuff is at worse is up here, where Finland is going to do Sweden is going to do extremely well against Finland. They managed to take lots of land straight away, pushing in with the special forces, going and kind of encircling this whole sea area down here. The Russian troops will arrive eventually, and the King of Russia will send a letter to the Swedish king saying, wow, you're doing really well. And the Russians are going to be like, inside there, like a little bit like, we've got to speed this up a bit because, we don't want the Swedish to get all this land. Which, I don't think the Swedish really care because, they just want land. Every country in the world is very land hungry at the minute. We also see the Russians start another invasion into the Baltic country. Once again, all the Latvians, they just recently regained Estonia, and now they're losing it again because they are stupid and they can't hold on to any land. And they're gonna get scared. They're gonna poo their pants, and they're gonna say, "Ah, we leave the war." The Polish, though, they're still stupid. They still got a stupid guy in, and they don't leave the war. This is very bad. The Star Alliance is getting embarrassed here by, I mean, they are two top 10 powers, Sweden and the Russians. But it's the Polish are gonna get pushed here, and they're gonna be like, fine, surrender. And then the Finnish, they aren't gonna surrender. You see the Swedish push over here into the Kola Peninsula, and this is known as the Second Northern Wall, kind of, in a way, but not really. As we see them push into the Kola Peninsula, do extremely well in these cold areas. Russia didn't know that Sweden was so good at fighting in cold areas, and yeah, the plague is starting to get in really bad in this country now. So yeah, we see Green Finland. They will have a rebellion. It's really just they don't like the Union, and they more wanted to be a puppet state of these two countries. Weirdly enough, so the Russians are going to rush in, and now we have a divided Finland. So we end up seeing this be the peace treaty, and it's kind of crazy. Sweden is very strong now. They are actually extremely strong. I just said that. But they took most of northern Finland. We then saw Russia expand a lot more and pretty much retake all their old lands. And yeah, they have definitely sort of reformed their empire, which they didn't really lose it in the first place, but they've made it better now. I'm going to see a few countries just straight up disappear because of this plague. One of the countries that's going to go is literally this guy. He straight up disappears, collapses, and yeah. So now we have a major city just left out here to rot. But hey, let's get to some happier things like the filling in of over here. So we see this land over here get fully divided up now, and Persia's spiking. They look like they have a spike. I'm going to do the promise for this after, but who really cares? And the plague is definitely at its worst now. Some countries have lost up to 90% of their population. One of them being this country here, and yeah, they collapse it. So the Yugoslavian country just dies, and these borders look horrible. I'm gonna fix. That looks a little bit better. But yeah, the plague now, it's starting to get bad, but it'll start to get better now. We see a sort of vaccine plague thing, a vaccine be created. And stuff's getting better, but down here we're going to see a union take place. And this will be the Yemenis Union, and that's because, you know, this country's expanded a lot recently, and we don't want it to get down here and take us over, so we're going to create this union now, and hopefully it'll stop them. It'll have their capital in the old dark purple one, and this is open for anyone to join, so anyone could join this union if they want protection from the Anatolian Empire. And now this plague is fully over, but people are very religious at this point. The plague boosted the amount of religiousness that's in the world, and I'm going to get rid of this stupid puppet state down here because I don't know why this is controlled by the Lime team. It's controlled by the Persians now. Let's just say they gave it to the Persians because they're a plague. From the XP as well, this does not line up with the promises, and I shouldn't have done that. But oh well, we'll live. For the final event in today's video, there's someone mowing outside. We'll see a lot more countries start to switch to religious ultranationalism. The first one is China. The second one is this Malaysian, Indonesian country down here. They switched to it. And then we see Bangladesh, and this is going to be the final war of today's video now. At Bangladesh, they have their own religion, and it's a lot in this blue country here. So what they're going to do to fix that is they're going to declare war on the blue country, moving into the exclaves, and they are a lot stronger than the blue country. Size does not matter in this area. This is just where lots of the population was, and as you can see by, I think, the promises, yeah, they're a lot smaller than the ones in the blue team, so the these guys are going to be able to move in quicker. Also see the Persians, who have rebuilt since the plague by this point. They're going to start to move into this country over here. The plague didn't really affect them too bad, but yeah, they definitely lost, but they lost about 10% of their population from the plague. Europe lost 50% of their population. That's how bad it was, but no one really collapsed except for these guys, because they were able to hold their countries together a lot. The plague didn't really have its effects in Western Europe too much. It had a lot of effect in Eastern Europe, but not really as much in Western Europe because they were able to hold it a lot together. You know, it started down in India, so it would really take a long way to travel over to here. But other than that, yeah, let's just get back to the war. We see the Persians push far into the blue Indians, and they just want access to the Indian Ocean, but they ain't gonna get that because they're idiots. Anyway, we see the Bengalis move further down the coast a bit, and it's a lot better. They are doing well. They're doing better than the Persians in this war because they are more familiar with this area, and they managed to capture the capital as well. We see them push far into this country, and then the Dark Side team is going to take over everyone's exclaves down here because they feel like it, and yeah, it's just a bit, it's disgusting. And there's only really going to be one country who cares about this, and that's the Orange team, and they're going to be like, yo, why are you taking our exclaves for? We declare war, and yeah, we're going to get smashed because we absolutely suck as a country. And then the Bangladeshis are going to get all of this land. The Bengalis, that's what they're called, yeah. So let's take a look at a peace treaty. So now we see over here the complete dismantlement of the blue Indian country. The Dark Side team looking better. The Orange country lost its capital, so we have to place a new one. And the Bangladesh country is now having a lot more of their own religion, except for a little bit which they don't have. So yeah. And the Sri Lankan country, which is the old South India, it's not going good. So I think I'm going to end the video off here. This was a pretty eventful video. We saw a lot of things happen. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.